Well, I was a child prodigy in electronics. When I was about 12 years old, I was asked to enter a science fair in Houston, Texas, where we were living. And I decided to build an atomic bomb detector and guided missile detector. And in the science fair, I gave an indication of where the U.S. had tested a certain atomic test and where they had fired ICBMs in testing. And I had it all listed on a chart. Anyway, I ended up winning the first place in the entire science fair over high school, college, everything. I won over everybody, and was in the newspaper. And I was in school a few days later, and in study hall, and the principal came over the loudspeaker, and he said, "Well, Patrick Flanagan, please come to my office. The Pentagon is on the telephone." I first started solar gazing in 1973. In my earlier solar gazing, I also did, besides direct solar gazing, I solar gazed with black mirrors. The Aztecs and the Mayans had obsidian mirrors. And in fact, quite a few little mirror devices have been found in the Mayan and the Aztec cultures that no one really knows what they're for. And they assumed that they were for, for looking at your reflection, maybe for vanity. But I believe they were used for solar gazing. And I made some mistakes. I didn't have any instructions. And I overdid it a few times early on until my eyes got stronger. And at one point, my eyes were so strong that I could look at the sun for an hour at noon. And it didn't hurt my eyes. I didn't have any after images or anything that seemed to be damaging. In fact, my eyesight improved. We do know that there are optical connections from the eyes to the pineal gland. And we know that the pineal gland produces neurotransmitters and possibly hormones that affect consciousness. I can tell you that when I was intensely solar gazing, when I was solar gazing at least an hour a day every day, that I had no appetite. My appetite went almost to zero. And after hearing about HRM, remembering the fact that after solar gazing, I did lose weight. I was fairly thin, but very, very strong and had very high energy levels. So I've decided when the appetite starts going away, I'm going to go with it and carefully monitor my body. I have a lot more knowledge than I had at that time, and I can actually measure, what's going on in my body. We can do blood tests and things like that to see what's happening, make sure that I'm not harming myself.